This is Detective Sergeant Debbie Sowers and
Interrogation Specialist Janice Tighe.
And we're here at 5:51 p.m. on Thursday, June 2nd. We're going to interview Brian Tinkin. And I will go get him. We scare you.
Yes.
Good evening, Mr. Tinkin.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm good. How are you this evening?
I'm doing very well. What can I do for you?
Some questions.
All right.
Let her get situated there.
All right. Let's see how I can help you then.
I think it's okay. Well, first of all, we just came in to talk to you about the police report that was filed and everything. And we noticed that the police report isn't all the way filled out. We don't have your name and address. Well, we have your name, but not your address and your phone number.
Okay.
We need that for our files.
We need that for our file. So if you could write that on there.
All right. Well, wait a second. I'll tell you what. I got this note from a friend the other day, and I'm carrying around the envelope. I don't really need it. That has my address and everything on it.
Okay.
I'll just use
Okay.
that.
Appreciate
That
that.
works. Okay.
I have terrible handwriting anyway, so I'm sure that'll be of more use to you.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Do you have any hobbies?
Yeah, I do. I keep aquariums at home. I've got several fish. In particular, excuse me, my shoe came untied. I've got several fish. I've got an eel actually, which is kind of a cool little
So is
thing
it
to play.
saltwater or freshwater?
Freshwater.
Freshwater.
It's a freshwater eel, called a fire eel, and he's really just.
Those aquariums can be time consuming.
It can be, but I've got some pretty low maintenance stuff. I've also got some goldfish and stuff like that.
Oh, those are good.
Aside
fish.
from that,
My
I
son
enjoy
has
kind of.
aquariums and he loves them.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun. I also go out hiking every now and then out in the woods and just pretty much enjoy life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. How about musical talents?
None to,
You don't play the piano or anything, or
No.
do musicals?
none to speak of, no.
Okay. What are you majoring in here, Harrison?
I'm in business management.
Business management. What do you plan to do with those skills?
I plan to become a manager in a company eventually. Hopefully I'd like to kind of go beyond that. And I'm doing my bachelor's course right now, and I'd like to go into my master's, kind of work in a corporate office if possible, or something along those lines with this stuff.
Okay. In company in particular?
Not really.
Not really, just.
I'd like to work at Harrison College if possible, but
Okay. And do you like your job here at Harrison?
yes, I do very much.
I noticed that you do a really good job out there. You're really pleasant to everybody.
Thank you very much.
What are some of your responsibilities at your job here?
Well, I mainly take care of pretty much anything I'm asked to. My main responsibilities are keeping the printers filled. I've got the fish on the mind still.
Yeah.
Keeping the printers filled, answering the phones, kind of doing odd jobs whenever someone up there asks me to.
Okay.
Speaking of odd jobs, are they ever have you take out the trash, like carry the boxes out to the dumpster?
No, I've taken trash out to the a little trash can right out in the patio, but I've never been asked to take it out to the dumpster.
Okay. Now, well, here's a question for you though. Do you by chance recognize that box? We know that.
May I?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, actually I do. I think around the time I started here, Lori Henley got a chair in that box.
Okay.
It looks familiar. Yeah, I think that's where I got it.
Did it have the 7011 on it when you?
I don't recall.
Okay. And we have this note, picture of this note here, and we were just wondering, does that mean anything to you? Do you understand any of that?
No.
Looks like a giant puzzle to me.
Yeah. Looks like some kind of a code or something, I'd imagine, but no, it doesn't really mean anything to me.
Okay. Can you tell us what happened the night of Tuesday, April 12th?
When would that have been?
That would have been the night that Chris Watson came
Okay.
in.
Okay, yeah. I was up at the front desk minding the phones. It had been a relatively quiet night. We had several people come up that night, and Chris came up and requested that I called 911 because he'd found something in a box out back.
Okay, and, here's a picture, Chris.
Yes.
Is that the gentleman?
Yeah,
Is that what he was wearing that
I
night?
don't know why, but yes.
Okay.
Okay, go on with your story.
Okay. Well, he just came up and requested that I call 911, so I called, and the police came and they taped off out behind the school.
Okay, now when he came into the building,
Mm-hmm.
did he seem to be out of breath? Did he seem like he was upset, or
He was a bit out of breath, but he didn't seem overly upset to me.
he didn't seem upset to you
No, he
or
did not.
agitated or anything?
No, he
Okay.
did not.
You want to start that? We want to let you listen to the 911 call that you made.
All right.
So we have the tape of it and get your opinion on this here.
Okay, that's fine.
911, what is your emergency?
Hi, this is Brian at Harrison College. I had a student here who says he was walking out in the woods and saw a box with a skeleton.
Just mushroom hunting and found it. You see a skeleton foot hanging out of a box?
Yes, that is correct. He seems a little upset about it.
full body. Is anyone hurt, or does anyone require medical attention?
No, he's just rattled a little.
It's terrible. I show your address as 1378 South State Road 46 and your phone as 877-2100. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
What is your full name?
Brian Tinkin.
And what is the full name of the student who saw the box?
What's your name?
Christopher Watson.
Chris Watson.
Okay, an officer is en route. Please have the student stand by at your front entrance.
Thanks.
I almost crapped my pants.
Now, listen to that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you still think that he sounded calm?
Depends on your definition of calm.
Now, when you're calm, I mean, most people when they're calm, do you think that they talk about having a bowel movement in their pants?
Most people I wouldn't think so, though Chris I'm not 100% sure. He's come up to the front desk a few times. I don't really know him that well, but in general he struck me as a bit belligerent and a bit loud. So to me, I just kind of interpreted that as normal for him.
Now, you recorded the 911 tape that you just heard. You seemed a
Mhm.
little excited when you told them there was a dead body being
Mhm.
discovered.
I wouldn't call that excited. I work at the front desk. I talk on the phone all day, and I've got a lot of students who do come and go. I figured the best way that I could do this would be to be as professional as possible so that I didn't stir up something if some students came out.
No, that's a good point.
Okay, our next question is, why did you show up at the crime scene?
Because there was a crime scene behind my place of employment.
Okay, are you aware that most serial murderers like to relive their experience by showing up at crime scenes?
With due respect, what exactly are you implying?
I just asked you.
Say, because
Yeah.
you tried to enter the crime scene according to this statement here. It says that you had to be strongly instructed to leave the scene.
I was not aware that there were actual parameters yet.
Because, well, it says you touched the crime scene tape.
Did I?
That's what the officer indicated in the report.
Okay. I was just looking around. I was probably leaning against it. I did not try and pass it.
Okay.
Okay, do you know Melanie Van Horn? Does that sound
The
familiar to you?
name's familiar. Give me a second. Yeah, Van Horn. I do. I recognize the name.
Where do you know her from?
Well, I don't really know her personally, but I think it was last fall. I was out at Dobbs Park. I go out there a fair amount. I was out there walking, just looking around, and I got to the fire break. I don't know if you're familiar with Dobbs Park, but there's the fire break out there. I got to there from the trail, and there were two people arguing.
Okay.
There was a guy, he was about 6 feet tall, wearing a black shirt, I think. It looked kind of big, kind of built. And there was a gal, she was thin and blonde. I don't really remember anything beyond that. She had her back to me. And as I was coming out, the two were yelling at each other. Didn't catch exactly what it was, but I gathered that he wanted some money from her. I figured this was getting a little bit heated, so I kind of backed off into the woods, and I was going to go the other way. But after just a few seconds more of them arguing, she reached out and slapped him on the face. He took off, seemed to be in a bit of a huff, and she took off after him. Well, she dropped her little armband thing, whatchamacallit, a little, like a wallet of some kind she had strapped to her
Okay.
thing. When she slapped him, I picked it up and I looked and I saw the driver's license with that name. In all fairness, I left it there. I figured something was going on. They seemed a little bit tense, so I didn't want to get in the middle of it.
Okay, so you didn't bother calling her and telling her she
No, I
lost
just-
it, or?
Or
I
dropping it in a mailbox, which
I
is.
just left it there. I figured that she'd realize what happened, she'd come back for it.
Okay. How about Justin Van Horn? Does that name sound familiar to you?
I'm afraid not.
Okay.
And how long do you think this argument went on? I mean,
Based on,
Interesting.
well, I was only there, and it only went on for about 30-40 seconds, because at that point I was out of there, I didn't want to be around that. But it sounded like maybe it had been going on for a while.
do you remember by chance what she was wearing?
No, I don't, I'm sorry.
Okay. And the male, you didn't recognize him from any of the students at your school?
No, I didn't.
Okay. Do you have any more questions, Zoe?
No? How about financial problems? Are you having any financial problems of any kind?
Not really. I had some before I got my job, but the past couple of months have been pretty good. Since being my job, I can help out around the
Well,
house. and
we
do
kinda
stuff.
understand with the economy, we're all kinda
Yeah.
strapped, and it's kinda hard, and we have to find ways to make that extra cash.
Yeah, I've been looking for ways, so. Okay, well, that's all we need from you.
All
We
right.
appreciate it.
Well,
Thanks
bye.
for coming in.
My pleasure. If there's anything else I can do to aid your investigation,
Well,
myself.
I do have one question. Do you
Yes.
have you have any information for us that could be helpful in finding any more about this mystery that we're trying to solve? Have you heard anything? I mean, being at the front desk, you're privy to information that a lot of students aren't.
I've heard random rumors about who it may have been out there at one point, but I haven't heard anything beyond that.
Nothing suspicious that has kind of perked your attention? Okay,
No,
well,
but
thank you for
If
talking.
if I do, or if I think of anything, I'll be sure and tell you.
Thank you
Okay,
so
we
much.
appreciate it.
Okay,
That's all we
have a
need
good
from you.
night.
You
Thank
too.
you. See, it wasn't so bad, now was it?
Mhm.
Our interview ended at 6:05.